Let's start with the team changes. Not a lot to report to for the Blues, as you could appreciate. So, Laurie Daly and co, they have been blessed. Very limited change. Bulldogs prop Max King. He will start for the injured Mitch Barnett, and we're all thinking of him with that ACL injury. Storm prop Stefano Utukamanu comes into the 17. Hamoli Olakawatu, who was on the extended bench last time, he's pulled out for his opportunity because of the birth of his second child. And you can understand that, that's for sure. The game being played in Perth wouldn't have allowed him to be on call ahead of the birth of his second child. Keon Kalamatangi and Lindsay Smith have been named on an extended bench. There's the big changes for the Blues. Maroons, they have made hefty big calls. Billy Slater has dropped his captain, Daly Cherry Evans, after 26 origins for Queensland, 20 straight as the Queensland number 7. He's the oldest ever to play Origin. Tommy Dearden takes the reins. He's 24, Tommy Dearden. He will go alongside Cameron Munster, who has been named as the new captain, and that scares the life out of me. Cameron Munster being given the captaincy absolutely scares the life out of me. He posted something on social media saying career dream or something along those lines. Titans forward Beaufor Moore has also been dropped. Warriors edge player Kurt Capewell, he's been rushed into the starting side. So can you believe that? Jeremiah and I, Pat Carrigan, who started game 1, they've been dropped to the bench. Storm lock Trent Liero comes into the starting side. Mixed reports about him. I actually thought he was really, really good in Origin 1. Not everyone agrees with me. Kurt Mann, who was terrific at Aqua yesterday, he goes to make his Origin debut off the bench. Ezra Mann, controversy around this one, named 18th man. Corey Horsburgh, Jack Howarth, they come into the 20-man squad. So this is massive. The Maroons have 10 points only from their last 2 games, and only one of those was from a try. So he's had to change things up. He has. Are you as concerned with me, Brian, as a Blues fan, with Munster getting the captaincy?
Yeah, because now they're going to be desperate. And the thing with Billy, like, far be it from us to question the DCE thing. Like, he's obviously seen things in his game that he feels. Now, Billy is a student of the game. So I'm worried what he's seen. This is what I'm, because they're going to put Dearden in there. I don't know about the Carrigan and Jeremiah Nenai. Is that just ducks and drapes, as Gibbo would say? I feel you've got, I can't see Pat Carrigan coming off the bench.
No, well, he can play the 80.
Unless it is, he's just thinking he needs more thrust off the bench. I feel sorry for Beaufor Moore, actually. He never got a shot. He played 18 minutes in game 1. But as we like to say, rats ass, Queensland.
So
we're all about the Blues.
Nanai was close to their man of the match.
Yeah.
So why has he gone to the bench?
Well, I'm thinking maybe he wants to take the sting out of him, and hopefully Queensland can hold the fort till these blokes come on the bench. He's, you know, as I mentioned, Billy is a very, very smart coach. So that's probably my worry, is that he's going to have him. He's got a few surprises up his sleeve.
Are you happy with the simple change for New South Wales? Yep.
Yeah.
Stefano, you happy?
Stefano.
Still no Terrell May.
Yeah, and now having Lindsay Smith in there, this is pretty obvious that
he's not part of the plans.
Terrell May is not part of the plans for the next couple of years.
No.
So I know he had a meeting with Laurie. I don't know what was said. Don't know what was done. But like in the fair income stakes, if Terrell May can't make the extended squad, like, he's a better footballer. I think he's a better front rower than Lindsay Smith.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's a case that he's better than 3 of the 4.
I didn't want to say that. But
no, but there's a case.
There is a case.
There is a case, with the greatest respect.
So
there's a big case.
There's something not right there.
All righty, it was 12-all, Brian, and with 23 minutes to go. 12-all, 23 minutes to go in front of a crowd of 59,878. They must have been tempted to push it into the 60 mark. It was 12-all, 23 minutes to go, and they say, with 23 to go, let's get the number 23 on. And he came on. And to keep in mind, too, the Bulldogs, who have been struggling for points in recent times, of their 12 points, one of them was a Burton intercept.
Yep.
So they really had scored one bona fide try in about an hour of a game, and then Galvin comes on, they piled on 3.
Yeah, it was like the Eels, as you mentioned, they were right in it. It was just their errors. I think the Bulldogs, they completed at 90%, and they did so much tackling, the Eels, and there was a couple of, I tell you what hurt, in the Zach Lomax, it was a 7-tackle set, and
Yes.
Zach Lomax got the ball, did the right thing, was trying to feed Josh Adako on the left. He made about 12 metres. The Bulldogs were cooked. They weren't even back on side yet, and he dropped the ball, and that let him back in, and then Kickow scored, and it was all over. So, although it was in the end an 18-point win, I thought the Eels had their chances.
Yep,
definitely had their chances. But some big games, some big efforts. Max King was huge. Harry Hayes was very good, and Jacob Kiraz.
They can't tackle him, Brian.
I love watching him play.
They cannot tackle him.
But I love watching him play because most wingers will try and get a quick play of the ball. I think he had 7 offloads. And out of those 7 offloads, I think 3 led to tries.
Yep.
I love watching him
So
play.
do I. I love it too. He never throws a tardy offload either. The Raw, when he came on Galvin, he had his jacket on. It was freezing cold at Accor Stadium. He derobes with the jacket, and then the crowd went up. And we're getting people texting into the call saying this is the biggest Raw we've heard since Josh Reynolds returned.
Okay, yeah.
So this kid's been there for 2 minutes.
I heard Gus talking about how, whether or not Gus is telling porkies, but he said, we had every intention of playing through reserve grade, but he just impressed at training, like his talk and his ball playing and stuff. So, yeah, they've got a great player, but I feel the 18 points didn't really give a true reading of how tight this game was.
Totally agree.
Eels just ran out of steam, but it was due to those errors.
Yep. No, I agree with that. What I would say, and I actually ran into Mark O'Neill on the way out, and I said, geez, this team's improved. Like, at the start of the game, they had repeat set after repeat set after repeat set on Parramatta. I said at the start of the year...
There was 2 penalties and I think 3 set restarts before they got the ball. Yep,
round 1 or 2 against a hot side like the Dogs, they would have folded like a deck chair.
Yep.
But they hung in there. Isaiah Youngie, he's got 200 games plus written all over him. But the Bulldogs, and this is credit to Parramatta, by the way, 30-12, and that scoreline got away late. The Bulldogs, so typically, Brian, if you run for 1,800 metres as a team, you won the game usually. They ran for about 2,400.
Yeah.
About 1,000 more than Parramatta.
Yep.
That's a big discrepancy.
Yeah, it was, and it was due to their errors too.
Yep.
It was just due to their errors. But in saying that, the Bulldogs got it done. Burton was very good.
Burton was very good.
They were taking the line on. When you got big halves like that, Burton is he came through as a centre. Like he's like a Freddie.
Yep.
Those big 5'8" where sometimes the best plays just dummy show and go.
Yep.
And he caused all sorts of trouble. So. Yeah, they're back on the winning ways, the Dogs.
Still sideline, you got Satili Tupanua. You have got Jacob Preston to come back.
Yep.
He's not too far away, Jacob Preston. And there's another key out as well that's eluded me for the time being. But there's another big out who's not too far away.
Hughes?
Sam Hughes is another one. I'll think about it very shortly.
I thought also a rap to Toby Sexton too. Went into 9. And after the game, I thought he spoke really well to the boys in at Fox there when they crossed to him. I thought he just said, "I'll just play wherever I want," and he didn't turn it up. So hopefully he goes to a good club next year because he won't be at the Dogs, will he?
No, he won't be there. Reid Marnie neither. And then the other thing is too. So they debuted Mitch Woods, the young halfback, who he was an Australian schoolboys halfback the 1 year after Lockie Galvin, which was last year. So he debuted on the same day Lockie Galvin debuted for the Bulldogs. He debuted at halfback in reserve grade and was awesome.
Right, well, Gus has got them all coming through.
So they're coming through. They are coming through. No doubt about that. The kick-our sin bin late on Moses.
It is.
It is.
You can't do it. Then you look at like your brother.
Yep.
What happened to your brother?
That's
and
right.
Lockie Ilias.
Yep.
You just when their legs in the air, it is unfortunately. He got it wrong, and it is a sin bin.
Yep, that's for sure. Heavy-duty moment for Milwaukee. Forever for the trade. Look, I've got to give it to Max King. Huge effort to cement his Blues starting spot. What a story. 19 runs, 229 metres, 27 tackles, and there was one big shot too. It was very Origin-like in 45 minutes of game time. 229 metres, Brian, in 45 minutes.
And this is what Origin can do to players.
Yep.
You get them in there, and all of a sudden they go, geez, I handled Origin. Look, NRL is slower.
Yep.
And sometimes players feed off that and they go, well, I did this against the best players in the world, and now I'm playing here. Watch me go. And
Crazy.
He's a player who's playing a lot of confidence.
Raiders 36 defeat the Rabbitohs 12. Slow out of the gates. But that's 4 straight and 11th win of the season for the Green Machine. They are having some fun down there. And, who took in their bingo Josh Papali'i to score 10 points for the match? What a great way to finish it.
Great ending.
Yep.
Young Owen Paddy was very good. He put him through to those holes. But I thought when young Tamale went down, I thought, this might be the game that they may struggle. But Sasangi? Yeah,
Yep.
Simi Sasangi, he went straight into the centres, and I think he was the best player on the field.
Okay, so just with that in mind, right? So,
And your man, Strangey.
oh, Strange. You know what? I'm putting it on the record, folks. I'm having something on him for the Clive. If they win the comp, he's a massive chance of having won it. So just so you know, I'm putting it on the record. You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Savelio Tamale, knee injury. He's looking at 2 to 3 months on the sideline, Brian.
Yuck.
So options might be Jed Stewart. And just as we go to the break, I do see here there's a bloke called Michael Asamoah. He's their top try scorer in the New South Wales Cup. Chevy Stewart, maybe, is he an option to put on the wing? Dolphins 56, Brian. Dragons 6. Comes at a bit of a cost because a lot of injuries. Plath's season appears to be over, as well as another player went down for the Finns as well.
I saw Plathy go down, so it's an ACL, confirmed ACL, isn't it? That was, that wasn't great. But they were very good. This is the Dolphins that we're hoping, because if you've had a bit of an interest in them to make the 8,
Yep.
they were good. It was the kid again, Isaiah Katoa. Far out. I'm sick of rapping him, but
56-6.
hammer at fullback. Well, in saying this, though, the Dragons didn't offer much.
No.
The Dragons are very predictable. I know Brooksy was upset.
Sharkies who are desperate. Dragons who are equally desperate. What is happening here? I thought there might be some concern around Sione Katoa, who sort of grabbed at a hammy, I think, or a groin last week.
Moon boot as well in the sheds after the game. But
okay, well, he's been named. He's been named, okay, folks. He's been named to play on the wing. His wing partner, Ronaldo Mulitalo, is back from that suspension. So the back line you will be familiar with there at the Cronulla Sharks. Up front, not a heap of changes there as well. Kaeliro, actually, poor bugger, hasn't not missed this year, but he's hurt his pec, so he's going to be out for an extended period of time, which means Maweni Hiroti pushes into the centres. Toby Rudolph, he's among the reserves as he nears a return from a syndesmosis. For the Dragons, Val Holmes goes for Origin. Corey Allen, who came in last time, he goes to the centres. Tyrell Sloan, who was dropped this time last week on his birthday, he gets his chance back because Christian Tuipulotu goes down. Emre Gula will start at prop after being 18th man against the Dolphins. That was a good game to be 18th man, Emre, I would have thought, and he comes back into the side. And Luciano Leilua starts in the back row in place of Taylor Mariner, who left the field after shortness of breath last Friday. Hame Sele, the new face on the bench. So that is fascinating. The Sharks taking on the Dragons. You do not want to be losing this game. That game is the sole Friday game. Thursday, 7:50 p.m. on Thursday night in this abbreviated week. Let's go to the Titans and the Seagulls, and there will be a big number 7, possibly taking on a former premiership winning half with him, I think, Brian.
Yeah, do I have to do this game? Do I really have to do this game? The Titans, I've given up on the Titans.
Is that why it's Friday the 13th, this game?
I've given up on the Titans, but I'll do it because this is what I like to do. I like to make sure the people, the listeners out there, get the right information. So let's go look for the Seagulls. Tommy is back. No Lehigh. Lehigh obviously is out with the Category 1. That means Saab is back. He had an illness last week. Siwa Takiaho is back. Jazz Tavanga goes to the bench. I can't get a read on these either. They were cruising last week against the Knights. Let's go to the Titans. Number 7. You wanted the number 7, Jaden Campbell?
No, Kieran Foran.
No, Jaden Campbell's at 7, Kieran Foran's at 6. 7 and 6. Brimson's at fullback. Then the forward pack is Jolliffe, Regan Campbell-Gillard, Randall, Beaufort, Cleese, Haas. There is, if you have a look in the reserves, Sammy Verrills may be back. But
no Fafita.
Hamole's there. Hamole will be playing.
I keep going back to that second half capitulation by Manly. And you can imagine poor Siebes, a great fella too, Siebes. He would have been so distraught, and then somebody would have said, "Oh, did you see the Newcastle press conference?"
Oh, yeah.
And then they just sort of ran out, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, quick, guys, get out of here. And,
No, we'll speak
and
to
nothing
Matty.
was mentioned about him.
We'll speak to Matty because he's coming on at 5,
Yep.
I believe. We'll ask him. He was after the show on Thursday, not after the show, after the press conference. Matty was scathing. I've never seen him like this.
Really?
I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah, it was making him.
It was a weird winning presser.
Yes.
I don't think we've ever seen something like that before, where you win a game, it was a great comeback, and then have to apologise the next day for the comments in said presser.
But the first thing you know as a coach is you don't bag the fans. Like, you don't. Even if you know you're in the right,
Dale.
you just do not touch them because they will hammer you.
And it's hard to get it back, right?
Yeah. Once you get it back, once you lose them once, you got to win a comp to get them back.
You got to win a comp to get him back. Dale Carnegie, I feel like sending in the book. That was just the moment you hear it, you're like, "What are you doing, mate? You know, what are you doing?"
And the fact you won too.
Yeah.
You got the cash, so you probably should have said, "You know what? Thanks for the fans, even if you don't believe it.
Yep.
Thanks for the fans. They really got into us. You know, a few of them booed us, but I tell you what, in the dressing room, we felt it, and that was the motivation for us to win the game, or whatever it is. But you don't do that.
It'd be like us, honestly, like bagging our listening audience. That's exactly what it'd be like.
Well, it's fine if it's Dunny. I mean, if it's Dunny, it's fine.
If it's Dunny, it's fine,
If it's Dunny, it's
and
fine.
Reptile, that's fine.
They don't like you.
Since we started, boys, I reckon O'Brien's been there the whole time since we've done this show. And I reckon on numerous times you guys have talked about the night's performance, let's say losing streaks, and then gone, how good was the crowd?
Yeah.
They're turning up. They've always been there, thick or thin. Like it's generally 15, 16, 17 at the lowest.
He has apologised.
Yeah.
I know,
he definitely has.
And I know he would have been upset, and he's probably looking after his players. But you've got to play the game a little bit.
Yeah, but he's conceded he got that wrong. He got that very, very wrong. Speaking of which,
yes,
I think he probably would have preferred an away game, first game after that.
Yes.
But they are 5:30 at home at McDonald Jones Stadium.
Yes. Skipper Callum Ponga is out, boys, obviously, with Origin. So Fletcher Sharp moves to fullback. Jack Cogger is the number 7. Has it a guess who number 6 is for the Knights?
No way.
Jacko.
So it was a Freudian slip. We had Jackson Garlick in here the other day, and I kept calling him Jackson Hastings.
And you did it later in the week too.
I did.
Twice. So Jacko is backo. Jackson Hastings is at 5'8". Matt Croker starts at prop in place of Tyson Frizzell, who had a concussion as well in that game against Manly. Matt Arthur has been added to the bench. Roosters, on the other hand, big names coming back. Big names coming back. So Sammy Walker has been named. He will be starting in the halves. He'll be wearing jersey number 7. Hugo Savala is his 5'8" in his first game back. We've got Dom Young, who seems like he's on his way to the Knights. He'll be on the wing for the Chooks this round. Mark Nwanganitawase moves to the centres to cover for Robbie Toya. 2 begins as well from injury. Now, Fahu White, his knee, and Nat Butcher's knee, both okay. So they're back on deck. Egan Butcher joins the starting side for Gus Crichton, who's in Origin. And Zach Docker-Clay comes onto the bench. Strong Roosters side. A home game and a strong Roosters side.
This is unprecedented. This is unprecedented. I think we're going to see this scenario where Dom Young saying, "Righto, can I go to the Knights now? One more game, Dom. We'll give you a lift up there."
Yeah.
Right? So he packs his bags.
Logistic.
He doesn't get on the bus.
I'll meet you up there, boys.
He doesn't get on the bus.
And then he turns up, he shakes hands, and then you see him in the other sheds, and he's there for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Well, that's the mail, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the game. They said you can play this one last game.
Yeah. We'll give you a lift, Dom. That's great.
I'm wondering if the 7 and 6 here, because Hugo has been majority the kicking game and has been has become the runner. Sandon Smith has been the runner.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if Hugo will still steer the team around.
I think so.
Sammy will just get on an edge and just do your best.
I reckon I think he'll steer him around. He'll do the long kicks, and then when you get up into that green zone, they like to call it, Brian, it's the Sam Walker show.
Sam Walker show, yeah.
You reckon?
I agree.
Yep.
You know who's been awesome last few weeks? Looking forward to watching him again. Blake Steep.
Yeah.
Blake Steep.
Yeah. I'm no guru, but
his
this
ascendancy's
guy
been steep,
is
hasn't it?
growing. Yes, every week. I think, you've got a good one there, Fletch.
I tell
Blakey
you,
Steep.
I tell you so we had Luke Metcalf on Matty's show, and we were talking about Nafahu White. I asked him about Nafahu. Mitch Barnett came off. When they played the Chooks, Mitch Barnett came off and said, "This guy's unbelievable." His words were, "The Chooks have got to sign this bloke for 5 years." He said, "I could not."
Nafahu White.
They said Mitch Barnett and all the forwards are talking about. I cannot tackle him.
Yeah, he's elite.
Isn't he? He's got a bit of pole about him.
Yep. He's elite. Well, they've missed him.
Yeah.
West Tigers have missed Pole. He is elite. Boys, West Tigers are not in this next game. The Cowboys are taking on the Dolphins. Cowboys and the Dolphins, who are cheekily sitting in the top 8, both these teams. So this is a fascinating game. Now, I am convinced. Let's test out Chriso with the Chromie button. Could you Chromie, please, Chriso? Young Chris, he's searching.
Oh, very quick.
Because his head's in the Heineken bar already.
Yeah, very good. Scotty Drinkwater had about 10 minutes to forget. He had a shocker for 10 minutes. The Cowboys versus Storm, they were much closer than everyone thinks. They played pretty good. After he had that bad 10 minutes, he came out, tore him up, scored a great try.
Yes.
Scott Drinkwater is going to have a massive game.
All right.
Massive game.
Do you like the Cows?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know because the Dolphins defensively have been enormous. They're conceding no points in recent times. Big Red Dog is back, Brian.
The Clifford.
Yeah. Clifford's back.
The Clifford's at 7, obviously because no Deidos. What about the back? What's the forward pack looking like?
Taumalolo back and straight into the 13 jumper. So that is good news. Obviously no Robson. So Carl Lawton, who they picked in the 17 last week to get him used to all of that. He'll be starting the game. And still a pretty good back line, like Laybutt's there, and Murray Talangi is on the wing, Jackson Purdue in the halves position. So this is a big game. For the Dolphins, Jake Avarillo slides to fullback. He's good. Jakey Avarillo. Max Fine comes into the centres with Hamiso in the Maroons camp. Ray Stone returns from a shoulder injury on the bench to fill the hole left by Maxi Plath, which is a decent out.
Yeah, it's a shame for him. He was just getting back. Was that his first game back, second game back?
First game back, and he was sort of rushing that back. Brian, 60,000 we saw on yesterday, Monday.
Yep.
Same venue, 4 o'clock, same time. Rabbitohs versus the Bulldogs. They cracked the 60 early in the year. Big stars are out. What's the crowd number, all being a healthy weather day?
Yeah, healthy weather day. I'm saying 30s.
Yep.
I reckon it's going to be there'll be a 3 in front of it. Let's have a look at the Bunnies. No Latrell Mitchell, so Jai Gray is going to be back at fullback. Jaden Sullivan moves to 5'8". No Cody Walker. It's the groin. That's the old man's injury. Jamie Humphreys is going to be halfback. David Moali has been added to the bench. And Campbell Graham is listed amongst the reserves. So he had back spasms against the Raiders, so he's hopefully going to be there. Let's have a look at the Bulldogs here. Lockie Galvin comes into the starting side. Jacob Carraz moves to centre. No.
Oh, you don't like him there?
I don't like him in the centres. I do not like him in the centres. Keep him on the wing.
He will be playing there, though, because in the past they would name him in the centres and he'd play wing, but Montoya's not a centre and Wilson's not a centre. So he'll be there, won't he?
Yeah, Maxi King is not going to be there. So Josh Curran, they got plenty of
Preston.
Preston's returns. So Jake Turpin and Kurt Moran are new faces on the bench.
Harry High Pants Hayes, one of your favourites.
I like him. He's just a nice kid. He came up and introduced. I like people who come up and look in the eye and shake your hand. So he's been brought up well.
He has.
Was it Brian or Fletch?
He said bear's head. I said, mate, it's tripod. I just said, like, for blokes I really like, it's the pod.
You can catch you on the pod too. Curtis Moran, who missed out on the 17 last week, he's back into the side. He's off to the Gold Coast, Brian. Is that a good signing?
Yeah, he's a goer. That's what you want. You want players who just get in there and have a crack everywhere. Reliable players. That's what you want.
This Ryan Gray, is he any relation?
Yeah, don't know.
Ryan Gray, he's on the extended bench for South Sydney.
Same spelling?
Yep.
In relation to Sasha.
50 Shades of.
50 Shades. 50 Shades. Okay, that's great stuff. You got an early tip there, Brian?
Early tip.
Great stuff.
early tip. I am going for...
Is it the Gray show or the Galvin show?
You know what? I'm going for the Bunnies. I think there could be an upset.
Upset?
Yep, upset.
Okay, they'll be wrapped at Keon Kalamatangi. Not for him, but he plays for South Sydney, which is a key.
Hooker, former Bulldog, Ryan Gray.
Right.
69 appearances in New South Wales Cup. That's all I've got
Does he look like you got a photo there? Does he look like him?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
What do you reckon? Is that
Maybe.
and Ryan?
Too hard to tell.
Who do you like? Who do you like here, boys?
Oh,
Dogs?
Yeah.
Momentum.
they're coming off a big. Be interesting to see what they did after that 60-odd thousand on the Monday. The big emotional affair, walking from the hotel.
Yeah,
How'd they back that up?
Yeah, the back row looks pretty good, though. Kickout, Presto, and Bailey Hayward. No, I'm sticking solid with the Bunnies.
Okay.
Bang.
All right, there you go, folks. That's pretty much it. Only 5 games. We'll go through that. And this bloke, Nick Sagrunas.
Yeah, extended bench. There was
For
all
the
talk he was
Dragons.
going to be starting in the centres, but Corey Allen took his spot. Yeah, born in St George Hospital.
Yep. Local
Arncliffe
boy.
Jr.
Arncliffe Scots
Yeah,
Jr.
killing it.
Absolutely. So he's on the
Reggie's-
extended bench as well. All right, there you go, boys and girls. SEN League coverage for round 15. We've got the Sharks and the Dragons, and we've got the Rabbitohs and the Bulldogs. Team list Tuesday. And I will say this. So I called the Matty Burton try, and I just, as he's running away to score the try, all I can think of, let's test out our man Chris again.
Matty Burton.
And I actually had to say it. Matty Burton, have we got him standing by? No.
It's deep on.
we
Brooksy,
bowled
get
him
in
out.
there. It's no relation, boys. That's from Tiger Scott. No relation.
Okay, well, he'd know.
To Sasha or to Jai?
That's right, Christian. Oh, yes, Josh Papali'i. He breaks all the records there, Brian. Well, not all the records, but as far as games played in the nation's capital. And our man, Tootsie Croker, who is aloft of many of those records in the nation's capital, and he joins us. G'day, Toots.
Hey, boys, how are we?
Tootsie, I'm going to say, now, I don't say this lightly, but that final 20 minutes was the best milestone game
Yep.
I've ever seen.
Yep.
It had everything. And when he kicked that goal, not even kicked that goal, nailed that goal.
Yep.
And then they shot back to him running back to his mates. I'm saying I got goosebumps. That was just, I can only imagine what it was like down there.
Oh, mate, you nailed it. You nailed it. Like, I was up in the coach's box. Obviously, Stick was on the sideline, but I was up in the box with a few of the assistants and watching it all unfold, mate. It was just so special. And when he scored the first try, I'm like, oh, is it too soon to get the big fella up for a kick? Because I know, mate, he kicks drop goals from 30 or 40 out with both feet. Like, he's so talented, Papa. Like, I knew he'd kick that goal. He's just got that. Like his golf swing, he plays off about 6 in golf. Just a nice, gentle swing, just nice and easy. He does it well. And when he scored the first time, I'm like, oh, is it close enough for him, like points-wise, that we're far enough in front to give him the kick, like, without being disrespectful, you know what I mean, to the Bunnies. And then, sure enough, he crossed again. I'm like, oh, surely he's going now. And they gave it to him. He didn't want it, and the boys just kept walking away. Just left him, left him down there. Yeah, just left him. Said, "You're kicking it."
That's great,
mate. And all the footy I've played at Canberra Stadium and been to, I've never heard a crowd they were just screaming Papa's name, like chanting Papa's name. I've never heard it for a player. I've heard them boo and, cheer and carry on, and they're very loud, but I've never actually heard the whole crowd just go, Papa. It was just unbelievable. And, mate, I just said, I'm out of here. I've got to go down the sideline and be a part of this. When he kicked that goal, I got in and ran down the stairs and, got down on the sideline and had to be a part of it, mate. It was so special.
So he doesn't do much media, does he, Big Papa? But what is he like? Because when he kicked that goal, and when he scored his try, everyone was just jumping all over him. What is he like on day in, day out of training?
Mate, he's like a big teddy bear. Honestly, he's the nicest person you ever meet. He does so much for the community, for his family, for his kids. He's got his youngest. His wife's actually due any minute with their fourth, I think, and his youngest fella Josh, he's just got a little bit of the autism stuff, which is been big for Papa as well. And we've obviously seen Noah, his other young fella, and he's just that's all about him, Papa. He's just all for his family and his teammates, and he's a bloke at training. And you walk in and he's just happy and gives you a smile and gives you a hug, and he's never having a bad day, Pups. He's just such a nice fella, and you wouldn't picture it the way he plays the game and what he has done for the last 15 years for the joint. But he keeps pretty quiet when it comes to the media and those types of things, and doesn't like to put himself out there too much. But he certainly, he's the best raider I've ever played with, and like Stick said there in that press conference, he's got to be in the top couple to ever wear the jersey for sure.
Yeah, what a play. Spoke well too. I saw him with the jersey presentation for his game, and he certainly loves that little man. I know he's got, as you said, their fourth coming up, but That little Noah, he must have been signing autograph after autograph.
He's a gem.
He's a gem.
He's an
He's the
absolute
best. He's
gem.
the best, mate.
Hey,
Good on him.
Tootsie, what's the chat on him next year on Big Papa?
Well, yeah, Pup sort of did say there on the radio last week that it'd probably be his last year in a Raiders jersey. It's tough. I've asked him a few times, had a few chats to him, and he sort of did think that. But then the longer it goes on, the better he's playing. I mean, and I know the club want to keep him. I'm sure Donny's keen to keep him and just have him around. And he's coming off the bench. He's obviously started his big game on the weekend, but a couple of weeks before, like I said last week, he's coming off the bench for that 15, 20 minutes, and he's still a handful. Like there was talk of him making a return to Origin last week. Like that's how good he's going at the moment.
Yeah.
Still, like they're still tossing that up. That's Queensland, they're a bit desperate, I think, by the sounds of that too. But I'll throw that one in there after they sack their captain. But look, I know he wouldn't want to play for another club. So look, if he was to play on, I gather it'll be probably overseas. But I'm sure the club are trying to work hard to keep him just for that another year or so as well, because he's certainly not letting anyone down. I know his body's been through a lot, as it would in 319 games in the forwards, but I couldn't see him playing for another club in the NRL, put it that way.
Brian, the Raiders, who are yet to have a bye, but that's coming up now, 11 wins and 2 losses, and I think Tootsie said last week a stack of home games still to come, so they are in a box seat.
Aren't they? What? And you got a pretty kind draw, considering where the other teams are on the ladder. That can change. But the three buys, you've done all the hard work early.
Yeah, it certainly helps. When we've got through that, we had young Savvy Tamale get injured on the weekend. It was disappointing, and Matty Nicholson as well is the one who we lost earlier in the year. So we've had a few injuries along the way and a few little hiccups, but to get through that period of travel where we've been, like I said, Vegas, Darwin, Brisbane, Gold Coast, New Zealand, all the places, and get through all that relatively unscathed and come out of it. We've had the most wins of any team in the competition so far. So to come up with 3 buys coming up, you can sort of break it down. You can get yourself, without looking too far ahead, you can build the rest of your season in little blocks of 2 or 3 or 4 weeks of whatever you got to your next buy, and then freshen up and hopefully freshen up towards the big games at the end of the year.
Hey, Tootsie, you do need to look a little bit ahead because the wing position is critical, and young Savelio's gone down. Hopper's out for the year as well. Where to? I know young Jed Stewart's there. I noticed there's a young kid in reserve grade who's scoring a stack of tries by the name of Michael Asamoah. Anyone else come to mind?
Mickey Asamoah, yeah.
Mickey Asamoah, yeah.
Really good kid. Mickey's an Australian schoolboy a couple of years ago. Mickey's one. Jetty Stewart's obviously been 18th man as well for a fair bit this year, and there's another guy called Mania who plays centre in New South Wales Cup, and he's another one who goes really well. He's got lots of skill, and Sebi, Chris, you wouldn't like it. No centre likes getting pushed to the wing, but if Sebi, the way Sebi played on the weekend, if it was short term, I think you probably could probably afford to push Sebi out and play a centre, but I think long term Sebi's obviously the centre, so you could have played Simi. Simi done a great job for a back rower playing in the centres there on the weekend, and you could have done that, but there's a couple of options there. Jetty, Mickey Asamoah, there's a couple, and Mania as well. So a few to play up the sleeve there. Sebi done a great job filling in the centres, but I think on the wing, with Simi in the centres, but. That one of those guys you'd imagine would come in. Six got a bit of time to think about that with the bye as well. So a couple got to play again this week. So those boys have got to go and put their best foot forward as well, knowing there's probably a wing spot up for grabs.
You're still here? We'll see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio. Because if you don't, you're an A grade. But if you do, you're the absolute Mickey.